Imagine walking into, say, a busy airport, maybe a high-stakes command center, or even one of those really cutting-edge shops, and you're just captivated by this huge, perfectly synced display wall showing critical info or just stunning visuals. What's the hidden engine making all that magic happen? Making sure every single pixel is exactly where it should be, even if it's spread across dozens of screens. Today, we're sort of pulling back the curtain on that engine. It's a device built to orchestrate visual information on a scale that's, well, pretty unprecedented. Now, for those of us who follow visual tech, video walls aren't exactly new, but the sheer power, the complexity behind those amazing displays, that often goes unnoticed. So our mission today is to take a deep dive into one specific device, a cutting-edge video wall controller, and really explore what makes it a game changer for high-impact visual communication.
That's right. We're zooming in on the WolfPack 8K 30Hz 5x6 video wall controller from HDTV Supply, Inc. And this isn't just, another box. It's really the sophisticated brain behind these truly immersive, dynamic display experiences. What's really impressive, I think, is how it takes these ultra-high-res inputs and just precisely orchestrates them across a whole bunch of individual screens. It turns them into one massive, cohesive visual tapestry. It's all about precision, power, and, frankly, amazing flexibility.
Okay, yeah, let's unpack this then. This deep dive is all about getting to grips with the robust capabilities, the specific tech advancements of this controller, pulling directly from its detailed product info and specs. Get ready for some genuine aha moments about the tech that's powering our visual world. So, first things first. At its core, what is a video wall controller really? For maybe listeners who aren't steeped in AV engineering, how does it fundamentally work? And why would you need something this advanced, especially one with 8K slap on the label?
Well, think of it like the ultimate conductor for your visual symphony. It's a high-performance video processor, right? It takes various digital video feeds, and then it expertly spreads them out across multiple displays, making them all act as like one giant, seamless visual canvas. It's what lets you turn a grid of separate screens into a single huge image or maybe a complex layout of different content blocks, all working in perfect harmony. It's actually pretty amazing how it turns a bunch of, individual monitors into this single, cohesive, really impactful display. Now, when we talk about 8K, that immediately signals, okay, this controller is built for the future, for ultra-high resolution content, but let's get a bit technical for a sec, because 8K can mean different things, and the refresh rate is absolutely crucial here. See, when it handles something like 7680 by 4320 at 30 Hertz, that's great for super high-fidelity static images, detailed graphics, maybe slower presentations where extreme clarity is paramount. But the ability to push 7680 by 2160 at 60 Hertz, coming from those DisplayPort 1.4 sources, that higher refresh rate, that's a real game changer for content with fast motion. Think live sports, dynamic financial data, interactive stuff where you need fluid, natural movement. It's the difference between just detailed and truly immersive for the viewer. It prevents motion blur and ensures a really silky smooth presentation.
Right, that makes sense. And here's where it gets really interesting thinking about scale. This specific model, it's a 5x6 dun controller. So that means it's designed to manage a video wall that's 5 displays high by 6 displays wide. That implies a serious amount of screen real estate. We're talking about potentially covering entire wall or a big chunk of a room. So it's not just about making a high-res image, it's about making that resolution massive, truly visually impactful, almost bringing the content to life on an architectural scale. Okay, so we've got the basics. What it is, why 8K and those refresh rates matter for future-proofing and that immersive feel. But the real muscle of a device like this, that lies in its specific capabilities, doesn't it? Let's really dig into the granular features that made this WolfPack controller such a powerful piece of kit for visual orchestration. How does it actually handle all those different video sources and outputs?
Yeah, this is where its versatility really shines. So the controller supports 3 HDMI 2.0 inputs and 2 DisplayPort 1.4 inputs. That input flexibility, it means you can connect a whole range of high-res sources at the same time, multiple computers, maybe dedicated media players, even live broadcast feeds, lots of options. Then on the output side, it has 6 DVI outputs, and each of those has a DVI loop out.
A loop out. Okay, what's the significance of that?
That loop out capability is actually kind of a secret weapon for installers and, operations teams. It's a really critical insight into running things efficiently. Imagine you're troubleshooting a massive video wall, maybe in a critical place like a financial trading floor, a broadcast studio, or a command center. Instead of having to halt the entire display just to check one screen's feed, that DVI loop out lets you pull a mirrored signal. You can send it to a separate monitor for real-time diagnostics or quality control, so you can ensure every pixel pixel is perfect, or quickly spot a problem, all while the main video wall just keeps running without interruption. It cuts downtime significantly and just simplifies maintenance in those mission-critical spots.
That makes a lot of sense. That kind of input and output power, it sounds like it opens up a huge canvas for creativity, right? The product page mentions some incredibly flexible layout modes like 4 layouts, picture-in-picture, PIP, picture-on-picture, POP-P, and even something called cross-screen capabilities. For those of us picturing, dynamic content on a massive scale, how do these modes really empower a user? How do they help orchestrate a visually compelling experience? And what makes cross-screen different from just standard picture-in-picture? What kind of content really shines with that?
Yeah, those layout modes are precisely where the art of video wall design really comes alive. So, picture-in-picture, PIP. That's great for overlaying a smaller video feed onto a larger one, like a news anchor in the corner of the main broadcast, or maybe a security camera feed within a larger map display in a control room. Simple, effective. Picture-on-picture POP-Key takes it a step further. It lets you have 2 or more distinct full-size content blocks sharing the screen side by side. Perfect for comparing data, maybe showing 2 sports games at once, or running a presentation alongside a live chat feed.
Okay, got it. So what about cross-screen then?
Cross-screen. That's a truly innovative capability, actually. Unlike PIP or POP, which kind of focused on arranging content within the boundaries of individual screens. Cross-screen lets you stretch a single image or even a continuous video across screens that aren't necessarily next to each other. Non-contiguous screens. Picture maybe a sprawling infographic that wraps around a pillar made of screens, or like a dynamic art installation where elements flow between displays that are physically separated. It's incredibly powerful for creating visually striking, fragmented, or maybe ultra-panoramic content that breaks that traditional rectangular grid. It gives you unparalleled artistic and informational flexibility. It means you're not just showing one big picture. You're creating this truly dynamic, adaptable canvas that kind of defies conventional display boundaries.
Wow, okay. That cross-screen feature sounds pretty wild. And beyond just arranging content, the source mentions pixel-to-pixel resolution settings, these 4 LED sending card slots, and seamless switching. Could you shed some light on why these particular features are so important for delivering a truly professional, really reliable video wall experience? And what exactly is an LED sending card? Why would I need slots for them?
Absolutely. So pixel-to-pixel resolution settings are paramount. They ensure that every single pixel from your source is precisely mapped and rendered across the entire video wall. No unwanted scaling artifacts, no blurring, no weird aspect ratio distortions. It just guarantees a crisp, pristine image that truly leverages those high-resolution capabilities. You get exactly what you put in, pixel for pixel. And then beyond traditional displays, it includes those 4 dedicated LED sending card slots. Okay, so for anyone less familiar, an LED sending card is basically a specialized interface. It converts standard video signals into the specific format needed to directly drive those massive LED video walls. Think the giant screens at concerts, sports stadiums, or those huge outdoor ads in places like Times Square.
Right, those giant, super bright ones.
Exactly. Those LED walls work differently than standard LCD or OLED panels. Having integrated sending card slots means you don't need extra external hardware for these increasingly popular, really large-scale installations. It simplifies the setup, reduces potential points of failure, and just ensures a robust, high-performance connection for these visually stunning grand-scale applications. Then there's seamless switching, you mentioned that. Between its 5 inputs, I remember the early days of video walls where changing sources was like a mini power outage. You'd get these jarring black screens, sometimes for several seconds, completely disrupting the flow.
Oh yeah, I've seen that. It's awful.
It is. So the fact that this WolfPack controller offers seamless switching isn't just a nice to have. It's a huge stress reliever for anyone managing live events, broadcasts, or control rooms. They just can't afford a single flicker or black screen during a critical presentation or event. It maintains that smooth, professional presentation. Crucial for high-stakes environments.
Okay, with all this power and flexibility for inputs and orchestrating displays, you might imagine it's incredibly complex to actually operate. So how does an installer or an operator interact with this WolfPack controller? You certainly can't just plug and play something this sophisticated, can you? And what about those technical terms mentioned, like eDIDE or RS-232 and those TCP/IP UD ports? What's the deal there?
Precisely. And this controller offers a whole suite of control options, which really suits different environments and technical skill levels. That's a key insight into its professional design. So right on the unit itself, there's a user-friendly front push-button interface. Great for quick on-the-spot adjustments, like changing a scene or input. For more in-depth management, it offers a full WAB UI. That's a graphical user interface you access through a web browser, plus a dedicated APP and desktop software control. So this means you can manage it remotely from a computer, a tablet, even a mobile device. That offers incredible operational flexibility.
And the RS-232 and network stuff.
Right. For integrating into larger, more complex control systems, think facility-wide automation. It provides traditional RS-232 commands. The baud rate is 101.200, which is pretty standard for Pro AV, and also has TCP/IP and UDP commands using specific ports, TCP port 62203 and UDP port 62202. Now, for listeners maybe not deep into network protocols, RS-232 is that reliable, direct serial communication method, often used for sending specific commands from a central control panel like a Crestron or AMX system. TCP/IP and UDP, on the other hand, that's network-based control.
Sure.
It means the controller can be integrated into broader IT infrastructure. You can manage it remotely from anywhere on the network, maybe even across different buildings. And those specific port numbers are just like unique addresses, making sure commands go to the right device on the network.
Okay, that makes sense. It's covering all the bases for control.
And one more critical feature for the operator is that 4-inch LCD display right on the unit itself. This gives instant, real-time feedback, not just on basic switching, but crucial details like EDID information. Now, for anyone who's dealt with display compatibility headaches, EDID Extended Display Identification Data, that's the critical handshake protocol. It lets your source and display tell each other what they can handle. Resolutions, refresh rates, audio formats. This controller showing you that EDID info directly. It helps quickly diagnose resolution or timing issues. Makes troubleshooting way more efficient and transparent for the operator.
Gotcha. Okay, beyond just the display modes and the complex control options, it has some really practical features too, things that seem designed just to make life easier for whoever's managing the video wall, like 10-scene saves and loads, video freeze capability, and the ability to output one-button black contents. Even built-in test patterns for troubleshooting, and that 3.5mm audio de-embedding. These aren't maybe the flashiest features, but they sound incredibly useful day to day.
Oh, they absolutely are. And these seemingly smaller features, they significantly enhance usability and operational efficiency, saving and loading up to 10 different scenes. That means a video wall can quickly transform its content and layout. Think different events, different times of day, different content schedules, all changeable with just a button press. Imagine, say, a morning news layout, then an afternoon data dashboard, and an evening entertainment setup, all instantly recallable.
Yeah, that's powerful.
And video freeze. Invaluable for pausing a live feed while you maybe adjust settings, prepare for the next segment, or perhaps deal with a sensitive piece of information that shouldn't be shown. Outputting one-button black contents is simple but incredibly effective for privacy, providing a clean transition between sources or just resetting the visual slate. And those built-in output test patterns, essential for ensuring proper display calibration and quickly troubleshooting connection or signal integrity issues without needing external test pattern generators. Finally, that 3.5mm audio de-embedding adds another layer of versatility. It lets you pull the audio out from your HDMI or DisplayPort video sources and send it to a separate sound system, so you get a complete multimedia solution, not just visual. These features really show a deep understanding of real-world operational needs.
That's an incredibly robust feature set. It certainly sounds like it tackles the complexities head-on. But let me just play devil's advocate for a moment. With such a specialized high-performance device, are there any inherent complexities or maybe potential pain points for installer or operator, something someone should be aware of before deploying this, maybe in terms of setup or ongoing maintenance? What would be like the biggest challenge for someone new to this level of tech?
That's a fair question, absolutely. It speaks to the reality of sophisticated AV systems. While this WolfPack controller is designed for ease of use once it's configured, the initial setup of any large-scale video wall can be, well, challenging. I'd say the biggest hurdle for someone new might be understanding that intricate interplay between source resolutions, output resolutions, the physical arrangement of the displays, and then how to precisely map content across, say, a 5x6 grid to get that pixel-perfect alignment. It requires really careful planning and a solid grasp of video signal flow and display geometry. It's not trivial.
Right, not just plug and play.
Definitely not. And also, while the control options are comprehensive, integrating them into a larger existing facility control system, especially using those RS-232 or network commands, that requires specific programming expertise. It's not just about pushing buttons on the GUI. It's about understanding command strings, network configurations, maybe writing some code. So while the technology itself is powerful, the investment often extends beyond just the hardware. You need the expertise for meticulous planning, installation, and programming to really unlock its full potential.
That's a really important distinction. It highlights that the device is a tool, and yeah, its effectiveness really depends on skilled hands using it. Okay, now let's dive deeper into the actual technical specifications that underpin all this performance. What kind of specific resolutions can it truly handle, both input and output? Because 8K can, as we sort of discussed, mean a few different things, and that variety of outputs implies immense adaptability.
You're right to highlight the specifics. The numbers paint a clearer picture. So for inputs, it handles a wide array. HDMI 2.0 goes up to 7680 by 1080 at 60 Hz, 7680 by 2160 at 30 Hz, and 496 by 2160 at 60 Hz, among others. DisplayPort 1.4 pushes higher fidelity, reaching 7680 by 4320 at 30 Hz, and that important 7680 by 2160 at 60 Hz. And crucially, both input types offer downwards compatibility. That ensures it works seamlessly with a whole range of older or lower res sources too, which is vital in environments where you have diverse equipment.
Okay, and the output side, how flexible is that?
On the output side, using DVI 1.0 or HDMI 1.3 adapters, it offers incredible flexibility. And this isn't just about standard resolutions, it's about custom resolutions tailored to unique display setups. For example, it supports unique resolutions like 1024 by 1920 at 60 Hz. That's perfect for those tall, narrow, portrait-oriented displays you see for digital signage or specific data feeds. Or consider something like 3840 by 640 at 60 Hz, ideal for an ultra-wide banner display, maybe in a lobby or an event space. And of course, it also supports all the standard formats you'd expect. This ability to customize pixel-to-pixel resolution on the output, that's what truly makes it so adaptable to virtually any display size or aspect ratio you can imagine. It gives integrators unparalleled creative freedom.
So with this really deep understanding of its technical prowess now, what does this all mean for the real world? Where would you typically find a high-performance controller like this WolfPack 8K 5x6 being used? And what kind of impact does it actually make in those environments?
Well, the source explicitly lists conference halls, meeting rooms, and sports bars as key applications, and yeah, for good reason. If we connect this to the bigger picture, think about a high-tech conference hall. It means presenting multiple data streams, complex presentations, live feeds, all seamlessly across a massive display. Maximum impact, maximum audience engagement. Imagine a quarterly earnings report displayed right alongside real-time stock data and maybe the CEO's video feed, all perfectly synchronized on that 5x6 wall.
Yeah, very impressive.
Or in a state-of-the-art meeting room, it really elevates collaboration and information sharing. Teams can view multiple documents, video conferences, design mock-ups simultaneously. It fosters more dynamic, more productive discussions. And in a bustling sports bar, it creates that ultimate wow factor. Multiple games playing at once, maybe in different window layouts, or just one ultra-wide high-def display that truly immerses viewers in the action, showing every single detail of the game. It's really about creating an unforgettable visual experience that just draws people in.
And you mentioned TAA compliance and the warranty earlier.
Right, and it's TAA compliance and that 3-year warranty, they're much more than just bullet points on a spec sheet. They're strong indicators of trust, longevity, and supply chain integrity. TAA compliance means this device meets specific U.S. government procurement standards. That often signals higher build quality and secure manufacturing origins, which is critical for organizations with strict requirements, especially defense or public sector. And that 3-year warranty, it isn't just a number. For an installer or an IT manager, that's peace of mind. It dramatically lowers the total cost of ownership over time by ensuring long-term support and reliability, especially in these highly visible, often mission-critical environments.
And it's manufactured by HDTV Supply, Inc. You mentioned them, a company with 24 years of experience in AV products, certified since 2003. So yeah, they're definitely not new to this game, and that experience seems to show in the feature set. And for those listeners wondering about the investment, this particular unit is priced at $1,500. So yeah, it places it as a serious investment, but for serious visual needs. They even offer related products like 5x8 and 5x4 8K controllers, showing they have a whole ecosystem of solutions for different scales of video walls. Seems they're really committed to this high-end segment. So there you have it, a truly deep dive into the WolfPack 8K 30Hz 5x6 video wall controller. We've explored its ability to handle immense 8K resolutions, those precise refresh rates, its flexible inputs and outputs, including those crucial DVI loopouts we talked about. We look at advanced display layouts like PIP, POP, and that really innovative cross-frame feature, plus its comprehensive professional control methods designed for real-world scenarios. It's clearly a high-performance brain for pretty much any large-scale, high-impact visual display.
Yeah, what's truly fascinating here, I think, is how devices like this controller are really enabling us to push the boundaries of visual communication and even interaction. They're making it possible to create dynamic, adaptable, incredibly impactful displays that grab attention, convey information with just unprecedented clarity. It's fundamentally changing how we interact with large-scale digital content in public spaces, in professional spaces. It's about making information not just visible, but truly experienced.
Definitely. This deep dive has hopefully been your shortcut to understanding a complex but pretty foundational piece of technology. And maybe it sparked some curiosity about the immense power hiding behind those impressive video walls you see all around you. Now, here's a final thought for you to chew on. If we can create such incredibly detailed, flexible, and immersive visual experiences with these controllers today, what will the next generation of video walls look like? Could they become fully interactive, maybe seamlessly blended into architectural surfaces? Could they even provide holographic elements, dynamically changing entire environments based on real-time data or, I don't know, human presence? What new possibilities does this level of visual orchestration unlock that we haven't even